I'm alive. That's something, right? Right? And welcome everybody to the Friday forecast. I'm your boy King. Jimbo is not here today. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm surprised I'm here. I have not been feeling well for over a week now. I've been feeling like really bad. It's been really bad the last couple of days. Yesterday, I thought I was dying. I thought I had a super, the voice was gone, chest was hurting. It was over. It was the end. And then it wasn't. And so here I am. I still got a little bit of a cough, still got a little bit of the sniffles, still got a little bit of the, all that kind of stuff going on. But that doesn't matter because we have week 15 pricks. We got a lot of pricks out there. But we also have picks and predictions to make for you right here on Stay Tuned Sports. So let's just jump right into it. Let's run through these real quick. And then again, you can let us know what you think in the comments when we're done with this. So let's jump right over. As we see, both myself and Jimbo picked the Rams yesterday. Boy, what a Thursday night game. Welcome back, Thursday Night Football. Welcome back, Thursday night. We missed you. We were having too many good games in a row. We were like, can't have that. Let's get just a sloppy 12-9 game going on there. 12-6, whatever the fuck. I don't give a shit. It was bad. Whatever it was. Sloppy, bad, gross. But like I said, this is the start of week 15. We only got a couple more weeks of football left. In a month, 2 months, we're going to be begging to have shitty games to watch. It's how it goes. But there we go. Both me and Jimbo starting the week off 1-0. We both picked the Rams. Me and Jimbo, we're in lockstep with a lot of these picks. We're running right through them. Both think the Panthers are going to beat the Cowboys. Why? Cowboys are garbage. Panthers playing a lot better. Almost beat the Eagles. Maybe should have beat the Eagles. Jimbo, I think, would argue that point of whether they should have. But playing a lot better. Bryce Young looks a lot better. Really kind of building a nice base there to go ahead and build around going into the 2025 season. So both me and Jimbo have the Panthers. We both have the Chiefs. Again, I love Jameis Winston. Do not get it twisted. Do not get it wrong. Love Jameis Winston. Going to root for him every time I see him out there. Just a fantastic personality and all-around good guy, as you can kind of tell from him. But it just seems like the Chiefs find a way to win. So whether it's just by talent they win this game, whether they use their devil magic, which apparently they are, apparently in league with Satan, using some of that devil magic out there. Woo, black magic, baby. Maybe it's the Swifty magic. I don't know. The Swift, what do they call it? Tay Voodoo? One or the other way. Either way, by hook or by crook, it feels like the Chiefs are going to go ahead and win that game against the Browns. And then we both also have the Dolphins over the Texans. And I'll say it outright, and anybody who's been watching along knows, I do not buy into the Texans. Haven't bought into them all year. Watched them play a couple games in their primetime games. I don't buy them. I'm not buying into the Texans this year. They're 8-5, and they're not nearly as good as their record indicates. Dolphins fighting for a playoff spot there in the AFC. Will they make it? I don't know, but I do think they helped their cause this week by going ahead and defeating the Houston Texans and getting to a 7-7 record. I do think the Dolphins will do that. So does Jimbo. Now we go up to the next game. We have the New York Jets and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Our first differential of the week between me and Jimbo. I think the Jets are going to go into Jacksonville and win. Again, Jacksonville's got Mac Jones. They're a bad team. I mean, just at the end of the day, they're a bad team. I'm not saying the Jets are a good team, but the Jets, as long as they can not jet at the end of games like they've done the last couple games now, and finding a way to lose, I think the Jets can finally win against this opponent and the Jaguars. Jimbo thinks that the Jets, however, are going to jet, and you can't really argue with them. They're both 3-10. They're both bad, awful teams, and despite all the talent that the Jets have, this is where they stand, and that's just it's honestly almost impressive with how the Jets have accumulated the amount of talent that they have on that team and have utterly just failed. It is truly incredible. But I think the Jets do win. Jimbo, picks the Jaguars. Then we both have the Commanders beating the Saints. That's pretty easy. Washington football team, the Redskin Commanders, coming off a bye, needing to stay in the playoff race. I don't think they're going to catch the Eagles in the division. I think that dream is gone right now. But I do like their chances to still make the playoffs. And the Saints, without Derek Carr, they got Hainer starting there in New Orleans. Can they win this game? Yes, but I do think that Washington goes into the Superdome and wins, as does Jimbo. We both picked the Ravens. That's all we're going to say about that fucking game. Then we both also have the Bengals beating the Titans. The Bengals might be the best offensive team in the NFL. I think that goes without question. I think the Bengals, Joe Burrow is maybe the best quarterback in the NFL right now. That Bengals offense is maybe the best offense in the NFL right now. They are stunningly good. Their defense can't stop a wet fart. And that's why the Bengals are unfortunately 5-8 and probably going to miss the playoffs. And that's a shame that we don't get to see Joe Burrow in that offense have a chance to play for a championship or get into the playoffs and be part of the dance. Because, I mean, they are incredible. But, ladies and gentlemen, it just goes to show you, defense wins championships. It wins you games. And you can have the greatest offense in the world, but if the other team can score more than you, and it's difficult because the Bengals put up a lot of shit ton of points, but other teams are still able to go ahead and beat them. It's unfortunate for Joe to kind of have a wasted season like this. And again, the Bengals got off to a slow start and never got it really fixed. And that defense and Joe Anaromo, this might be his last year there. If we're going to be honest, they might be looking for a new defensive coordinator because that Bengals defense has been atrocious. So again, and the Titans, I like Will Levis, but the Titans are just bad. They're just a bad team. So the Bengals offensively should be able to crush the Titans. We both have the Bengals. We both have the Cardinals over the Patriots. I like Drake May, but again, the Patriots are just not that team this year. They're 3-10 as well. Cardinals still fighting for a spot in the playoffs, still fighting in the NFC West. They are 6-7. They got to stop the bleeding here at some point. They were I believe 6-4 at one point. They've lost 3 straight games. They need to get back on track. Boy, you can't get a better get-right game than the Patriots. If you lose to the Patriots at home, then you know what? You get what you get if you're the Cardinals. You get what you get. Next, we have the Broncos and Colts. And again, me and Jimbo in lockstep agreement. Broncos over the Colts. Colts, I think any chance of the playoffs have to be in getting the division over the Texans, and they have to finish at least one game better since the Texans already swept them. So you can't rely on a tiebreaker. So it has to be by winning, and you basically have to win out at this point, I think, if you're the Colts, to really have a realistic chance at the division. But it's not going to happen this week, as we both have the Broncos. Bo Nix is the real fucking deal. He is the real guy out there, looking like an absolute franchise quarterback now for the Broncos. Great pickup for them. Their defense, phenomenal. Broncos are, I think, a real deal playoff team here. And if they get in the playoffs, man, again, I'm not predicting anything spectacular for them, but I mean, they could make some noise. So me and Jimbo have both the Broncos on that game. Next game is one of the absolute marquee matchups of the weekend. The Bills. This is like everybody's Super Bowl wish here. Buffalo Bills, Detroit Lions, Rust Belt Bowl, baby. Who's going to win this one? I have the Lions. Again, the Lions have a defense that's made up with chewing gum, twine, and thoughts and prayers. And they are still finding ways to win and making it work. That team is dedicated, and they will follow Dan Campbell through hell. Dan Campbell makes some questionable fucking decisions, but more times than not, he ends up on the right side of it, which is, again, you can argue about how bad the decisions might be, but it keeps on coming up roses, then, you kind of run with it. So I have the Lions based on that. I just feel like they're kind of like the Chiefs. They're going to find a way to win. Jimbo's got the Bills. He think, again, they came off just that bad loss against the Rams. You cannot lose that game, I think, if you're the Bills and you want to be one of the top contenders. You can't lose that game. They are now 2 games behind the Chiefs. The Chiefs have to lose now 2 games for the Bills to use that tiebreaker that they have over the Chiefs to get the number 1 seed in the AFC. Does that happen? It's a possibility, but you've put yourself in a bad position. I don't think the Bills, again, you couldn't let that opportunity go by, and they did. They let the Rams beat them. Jimbo thinks they bounce back, though, here. Josh Allen, again, is playing MVP-level quarterback play. hard to argue this one. This is really kind of, I feel, a toss-up. 69% of the public is on the Lions. Nice. But I think it's actually going to be closer than that. Jimbo going with the Bills. Your humble servant, King, is going with the Lions. Next game, also different. We got a couple of different ones coming up here. I have the Buccaneers. Jimbo has the Chargers. Love Baker. I love how that team is just kind of his personality now. He owns that team. He runs that team. They got Mike Evans back. Cade Cock, Knock, and Otten. Love that tight end. He's doing fantastic. I don't think Bucky Irving is going to be playing in this game. I believe he is going to be out for this game. So that is a bit of a concern when it comes to the Buccaneers. And the Chargers are a very good team. That's why Jimbo picked them. Jimbo's got the Chargers over the Buccaneers in this game. I still have the Buccaneers, though. I think they will find a way to win. I know it's at SoFi, but that's not really a home field advantage for either the Chargers or the Rams ever. So I don't think you can really count that as a reason why you would pick the Chargers. I think the Chargers can win. I think the Chargers are a very good team. I just happen to think that the Buccaneers are going to go into SoFi and get themselves a victory and stay ahead of the Falcons. Again, they just got the division lead back after being swept by the Falcons. They now control their own destiny. The Buccaneers, you win, and you're going to be in the playoffs now. So you control that, and I think that's something that Baker knows, that team knows, and I think this is an opportunity they're not going to let go by. Buccaneers, I think, win in L.A. against the Chargers. Jimbo has the Chargers, again, over the Buccaneers. Again, this one's not going to be a shock because Jimbo's a big Eagles sycophant, but he has the Eagles beating the Steelers. Again, this is the second huge marquee matchup of the day. Both of the games are on at 4 o'clock, which is kind of bullshit, but it is what it is. This is probably going to be the most likely the game that we cover here on Stay Tuned Sports. Jimbo, of course, has the Eagles. I have the Steelers. Jimbo, of course, going with the fact that they have Saquon and that Steelers defense with the exciting whites in the defensive backfield playing very well, top ball, although they almost lost to Carolina last week. Let's not forget that. I, on the other hand, have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I love that defense. Now, again, I know George Pickens is not going to be playing in this game, so that could be a little bit of a detriment, but that also means you're not going to have too many personal foul penalties coming your way. So there's a little give and take when it comes to Pickens not playing for the Steelers. I do feel that Russell Wilson is playing better, that team is playing better, and again, I have a feeling that defense is going to have an answer for Saquon, and then you're putting it on Jalen Hurts' shoulders. And we know from this past week, there's a bit of a tension between him and A.J. Brown that's been going on for quite a while, it seems, and it all came out and came to a head this past week. Does that boil over onto the field? Does that start to become more prevalent? Or can they put their differences aside? And can Jalen Hurts actually play a decent game? We're going to see. I have the Steelers. Jimbo has the Eagles at home. The next game we have is the Packers and the Seahawks. And again, this is going to be another differential game between me and Jimbo. Again, sorry, still sick. Sorry for the coughing, but it happens. I have the Packers. I think the Packers are coming off, again, that bad, not a bad loss, but a tough loss. It's a very tough loss they had to the Lions. I think they're going to be coming back better than ever in this game. They're going to be looking for to get back into it. You got to keep pace with the Vikings. You got to keep pace with the Lions. Although I think at this point you got to figure that the division's out of reach if you're the Packers. But you still want to get better seeding for the playoffs. You still want to be ahead of the Vikings. You want to make sure that you secure your spot because the Packers are still in a spot where they can miss the playoffs, and you don't want to be that kind of last team in. You want to maybe secure yourself a little bit earlier. So I think they're going to go to Seattle and do it. Seattle been playing lights out the last couple of weeks. Big game after big game after big game. Winning the games they've had to. This is a team that I and Jimbo himself, we left for dead about halfway through the season. This is a team that lost to the Giants, which is embarrassing. So the Giants only have 2 wins, and one of them is against the Seahawks. That's terrible. That being said, they have played super well these last couple weeks. Jimbo thinks that they keep that going and has them keeping their lead there in the NFC West over the Rams. He has the Seahawks. I have the Packers. And then we have the terrible double Monday night game shit again, which is fucking infuriating. But we have the Bears and the Vikings. And again, I'm not a big fan of the way the Vikings have been playing, especially over the last 8 weeks. You look at that. Last week, played well. They were able to go ahead and get that victory over the Vikings, over the Falcons, who, again, is another team that is not playing well and is also playing the second Monday night game. But All that being said about how not happy I am about how the Vikings have played, they're playing the fucking Bears. And the Bears are just a dumpster fire right now. Almost as much of a dumpster fire as the Giants, but at least they have 4 wins. But I don't think that's going to get to 5 after Monday night. Me and Jimbo both have the Vikings over the Bears. And then kind of the same story with the second Monday night game when you have the Falcons not playing well, stumbling of late, inconsistent. Kirk Cousins just throwing pick after pick after pick. If they were playing maybe anybody else, you go ahead and pick the other team. But they're playing the Raiders, who are maybe outside of the Giants. And really, that's kind of 1 and 2 with them and the Giants. Might be the worst team in the NFL. So with that being said, I think it's almost by default that we have to go ahead and pick the Falcons. Both me and Jimbo have the Falcons in this game. So there you go. That's our Week 15 picks and predictions here on Stay Tuned Sports. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us, for watching along. If you watched this far, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out tremendously. Thank you so very much. If you want to help us out a little bit more, we have our donation station link and our merch store link down in the description below this video. You click on any one of those, donate whatever you like. And again, we'll give you a big shout out here on the channel. You donate $15 or more, you replace Pecan on the space above the chat. As you see, Pecan is our top donator with $15. You donate more than $15, you get above the ticker. That's pretty cool if you ask me. And if you ask me, I think a lot of things are cool. So there you go. And I'm a cool guy, right? I'm just a cool guy. Or whatever the fuck that meme is. Anyway, anywho, I'm going to try to take some medicine, take some tea. Maybe I'll drink some vodka. I think that's what helped me. I had a little bit of vodka yesterday. I was like, I'm dying. I'm not going to die sober. So I had some vodka. Next thing you know, next day, I feel great. A little bit of that Uncle Vladimir's cough medicine is always going to help you out there. But again, thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports on this Friday forecast. We're going to see you probably on Sunday, 4:25 for the Steelers and the Eagles. And then, of course, there's a lot of stuff going on. Army-Navy's tomorrow. Again, we're not going to be broadcasting that on here, but watch that. Enjoy that. One of the great American traditions, great college football traditions, Army-Navy. Have fun watching that. Go Army, beat Navy. And then a week from today, baby, Notre Dame, Indiana, the start of the college football playoffs. Can't wait for that to start as well. I think me and Jimbo might cover that game. I'll talk to him. We'll see what we're going to do for that. But yeah, lots of stuff coming up here. Enjoy it while you can, because before you know it, we're going to be stuck in fucking baseball season. And who the fuck wants that? But anyway, until then, I'm your boy King. This has been Stay Tuned Sports. See you later, everybody.